Everyone tells you to wake up at 5 a.m., meditate, exercise, and plan your day. You've seen the Instagram posts, the YouTube gurus, the books telling you that your success depends on your morning routine. But what if I told you that this so-called perfect morning routine might actually be sabotaging your productivity, your focus, and your discipline? Today, we're going to uncover why following morning routines blindly is often more harmful than helpful, and how you can design a system that actually works for you. For, let's be honest, most morning routine advice is built on assumptions, not science. You wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for 20 minutes, do a 10-minute journaling session, go for a run, and eat a perfectly balanced breakfast. But how many people actually stick to this? Many start with the best intentions, but end up feeling guilty, anxious, or exhausted when they inevitably fail to complete every step. The problem is not lack of willpower. It's that these routines don't consider the complexity of human behavior and energy cycles. Forcing yourself into a rigid routine creates stress instead of freedom. Research consistently shows that sleep deprivation, even small amounts, can drastically reduce cognitive performance, focus, and emotional regulation. Yet, most early morning routine advice ignores individual sleep needs. Not everyone is biologically wired to wake up at 5 a.m. Some people are night owls. Forcing your body to follow a routine that goes against your natural rhythm can lead to fatigue, irritability, and poor decision-making. Your brain needs flexibility and autonomy, not a rigid 5-step checklist. Why do morning routines fail for most people? First, they're one-size-fits-all solutions. What works for a CEO in Silicon Valley may not work for a student or a remote worker. Second, the more steps a routine has, the higher the cognitive load and likelihood of failure. Third, these routines often focus on arbitrary rituals rather than high-impact actions. In other words, you might be doing everything right in the morning, but none of it actually moves the needle on your real goals. Let me give you an example. A friend of mine was following a popular morning routine. Wake up at 5 a.m., 20-minute meditation, 30-minute workout, cold shower, journaling, breakfast, and then start work. For the first week, he felt motivated, but by the second week, he was exhausted, skipping steps, and feeling guilty every morning. His productivity and mood dropped. What's worse, he started blaming himself for being lazy instead of realizing the routine itself was flawed. Here's a truth that most gurus won't tell you. Discipline isn't about following rigid routines. Discipline is about designing systems that work with your psychology, not against it. The goal isn't to wake up at 5 a.m. or check off every activity. It's to consistently take meaningful action toward your goals without burning out. A system that adapts to your energy, preferences, and lifestyle will always outperform a generic routine that looks perfect on paper. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and ignore what we cannot. Applied to morning routines, this means you cannot control whether you naturally wake up early or whether you have perfect focus at 6 a.m. What you can control is choosing one meaningful action that aligns with your priorities. This small adjustment, focusing on influence rather than perfection, reduces stress and increases consistency. Instead of trying to follow 10 different rituals, pick one key habit that matters most. This could be a 10-minute focused writing session, a short meditation, or reviewing your top 3 priorities for the day. By concentrating your energy on one high-impact action, you set a positive tone for the day without overwhelming your mind. Consistency is more important than variety. Consider a micro-morning approach. 15 to 20 minutes of meaningful activity that energizes and centers you. For example, 5 minutes of planning, 5 minutes of light movement, and 5 minutes of reflection. This small, adaptable ritual respects your energy cycles while still creating momentum. The key is simplicity and sustainability. When you overload your morning with too many steps, your brain experiences decision fatigue before the day even starts. Each choice, what to do first, which habit to skip, how to perform, reduces willpower for later in the day. By simplifying, you protect your mental resources and increase the likelihood of following through on your most important tasks. Here's a controversial idea. Waking up later can be more productive than waking up early. Many high-performing creative individuals, writers, designers, entrepreneurs, are night owls. Their peak focus occurs later in the day, not at 5 a.m. Following someone else's rigid schedule doesn't make you disciplined. It makes you a victim of a routine designed for someone else. Another Stoic principle to remember: focus on what truly matters. Instead of adhering to a checklist, ask yourself, what is the one action this morning that will genuinely move me forward? When you prioritize influence over arbitrary ritual, your mornings become powerful, not stressful. Here's a simple, flexible morning system you can try. 1. Identify one high-impact action. 2. Spend 15 to 20 minutes completing it. 3. Add optional reflection or journaling if it feels helpful. 4. Begin your day. No strict wake-up times. No unnecessary steps. Just meaningful momentum. Use temptation bundling. Pair a task you need to do with something you enjoy. For example, listen to your favorite podcast while doing a short workout or reading notes. This makes the habit less aversive and more likely to stick without relying on motivation or willpower. Time blocking can also help. Instead of micromanaging your morning minute by minute, allocate blocks of time for your most important tasks. A 20-minute focused block in the morning can be more effective than an hour of disorganized activity. The goal is deliberate, structured action without rigid rules. Consider a client I worked with. He was exhausted from trying to emulate the perfect morning. We simplified his routine to just 15 minutes of priority work, followed by a short walk. Within 2 weeks, he reported feeling more energetic, less stressed, and actually accomplishing more than before. Minimalism, not complexity, created real results. Remember, it's not about copying what others do or following the latest trend. Your morning routine should serve you, not dictate your life. One focused habit, done consistently, outweighs any complicated ritual you see online. Here's what to do today. 1. Choose one meaningful action for tomorrow morning. 2. Set a timer for 15 to 20 minutes to complete it. 3. Skip all other unnecessary steps. Start small, start simple, and focus on results. Stop trying to fit into someone else's morning. Stop feeling guilty for not waking up at 5 a.m. Instead, create a morning that respects your rhythm, your energy, and your priorities. Consistency and impact matter more than conformity and perfection. If you found this helpful, hit like, comment, and subscribe. In the next video, I'll reveal the #1 hidden discipline trick most people completely ignore, but it can transform the way you work and live. Don't miss it.